Hi, thanks for joining me. Today I want to do a vlog and talk about 2013. It's New Year's Eve, and I just thought this was a good opportunity to kind of reflect on the year as a video gamer. I think it was great, really, for anyone that was into games. Honestly, seeing people's top 20 of 2013 and videos like that, reading people's articles, it brings home to me how varied video gaming is now. So many people are, they just have the lists that could not be more different from mine, and I think that's exciting. I think it's neat to just have so many people enjoying video games in 2013, so many different ways to play, and it's a really good time to be a gamer. And it stands in contrast, I would say, a little bit to a few years ago. Maybe just for me, the way I was looking at it, the industry was going through changes, and it felt very different. And honestly, I thought that all of the kind of fun Japanese sort of games that I like to play were just not going to get localized here. It seemed like the industry was going in a completely different direction. There was just not a lot of games coming out that I was really excited about. This year was the complete opposite. So many good games were localized. It seems really healthy. A lot of the companies that sort of strictly localized Japanese games just have been having tons of releases. They're just going gangbusters. So it's nice to see. That's good. I think for me personally, I did a lot of collecting this year, and a lot of that was retro collecting. So, if you see my pickups videos, if you look back on those, I picked up a bunch of games, and I honestly, at the beginning of this year, I was finishing up my PCFX collection. It feels like that's been finished forever now. I'm still picking away at stuff, but I got a handful of Japanese language games, but I think because so many good games are getting localized, and I feel like I've had other pressures on my time as well. I've been devoting more time to playing games in English language. The Japanese games, it's more of a challenge. I have to work at that a bit. So I definitely picked up a handful, and this is around as many as I really want to be importing. One a month I think is not excessive, but maybe like one every 2 months I think is a little better. 2013 I picked up Macross 30, and I talked about this a little bit before, and I'm still in the tutorial, but my expectations were incorrectly set on that game. If you watched my previous videos, you heard me talk about it a little bit. So when I played it again, I tried playing it on easy, and it's interesting because it takes that action gameplay part and it lets you just kind of put it on autopilot. So if you come across a battle, you can just let the computer take over and control the plane, and then you get to keep on playing. It's unique. If you want to play this more like a kind of adventure style game, you can kind of do that. And I think when people might have said this is RPG-ish, it's more RPG along the lines of, sort of action-y, like online RPGs and stuff like that. When I heard RPG, I thought, oh, like a strategy RPG, or a more traditional RPG. I was just expecting something completely different from this game. So, did not play as much of that this year as I had anticipated. I also got Ketsui. This is the only cave shooter available for the PlayStation 3. And this is published by 5PB. It says Mages on here. I assume they handled the port to the PlayStation 3, but don't quote me on that. I'm not really sure. But I definitely played this for a handful of days, probably 4 or 5 days of really just popping that in and playing through the levels, and had a lot of fun with it for the time that I spent on it. I haven't completed the game, but it's it's kind of a bullet hell vertical scrolling shmup, and it's quite fun. White Album 2, this isn't technically a 2013 pickup, but I got this at the end of 2012, and honestly, I haven't played it, and it makes me feel bad because White Album, the first one, I played through. I got 3 of the characters' endings on that, and I really liked it. So definitely, I would like to devote some time to White Album 2. I haven't yet. And the only other games that I really got this year, I guess the only other one that's Japanese language only I can think of, is Galgun. And this was a huge disappointment for me. Again, I've only played just a little bit of it, but when I popped it in, I'm just like, it was hard to calibrate the gun. The shooting just wasn't fun, and just the humor and the premise, I thought it was going to be really great and really funny, and I'm just like, I just don't think it's for me. So, Japanese language games that I have put a little time into this year, aside from the ones that I mentioned, Steins Gate, Hyokureni no Darling. This is probably the only one that that I can think of offhand, aside from the time that I spend with my Dreamcast pickups, that I really put much time into. And it wasn't a bunch, but I did sit down and play a number of hours of that. And I think the reading level is just a touch challenging for me for that, so I think it makes working through it a little, it's more of a slog than I'd like it to be. I'd like it to be more enjoyable. But one of the things that's really nice about it, especially for a language learner, is they do tips on Japanese internet slang. So, honestly, you can learn some interesting terms from it. I will never forget Chuunibyou. Thanks to Steins Gate, Hyokureni no Darling. So I'll let you look that up so you guys can find out what that is. But I guess I did play a little bit of Sister Princess as well, now that I think of it. That was one on my bucket list. I didn't get as far in that as I would like, but speaking of my bucket list, I didn't want to get through 2013 without crossing at least one game off that list. So the one that I ended up playing is Phantasy Star, the original from the Sega Master System. And I played it on Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection on the PlayStation 3. It's not a Genesis game, but it's kind of an unlockable extra. You can play the original Phantasy Star. And that was a lot of fun. I guess the caveat there is that I played through it with a walkthrough, and it got less fun the further I got into the game. So, and also it was the most fun when I could put my nostalgia glasses on, and when I could really pretend that I was, 15 years old again. I was just having a ball with the game. I almost would have liked to have tried mapping the dungeons out myself, and really just trying to figure out all the silly adventure puzzle type things myself. But at the same time, those things can be extremely tedious, and I feel like as an adult with limited time to game anyway, and a lot of other games vying for my attention, playing through it with the aid of a FAQ online was probably the right choice for me. And it means I get to say, hey, I finished the game. It still took me like 20 hours, so definitely put a lot of time into it, and but it was fun. It was really neat to play an old school game like that, and I can see why if people had played that back in the day, would hold it in really high regard. Especially if I don't know if it is, but if it's kind of a contemporary of things like Final Fantasy, just the graphics and the things like that, they're very nice for the time. It was pretty interesting. Like a female main character, she's getting revenge for her brother. Just some unconventional elements. It was pretty cool. So, additionally, I just finished up a playthrough of Catherine. I was looking at my PS3 collection, and I said, man, some of these games, you start with them. I mean, with Catherine, I'd gotten about halfway through. I think probably most people get to around the same spot I was, like level 4 or 5, and I was playing it on normal, and I'm just like, I can't do this. It was too challenging for me. So I think it was a matter of my pride was wounded a little bit, I really didn't want to have to put that back down to easy. So I picked it up again yesterday and decided to play through the rest of the game on easy and just enjoy it. And it was still challenging, but fun. That nail-biting frustration, I think, went away a little bit, and the techniques that they talk about in the game really, help you learn some new stuff for getting through the puzzles. So it was quite a bit of fun and very interesting story. It's maybe different for different people. Being a man in his mid-30s, there's a lot to think about with just kind of the themes of the game. It's kind of like, what do you want in your life? Do you want stability? Do you want adventure? It was interesting. Very, very, very interesting game. Some other games that I played this year that I think are standout modern titles. Last of Us. That was pretty good. I know I didn't sing its praises as much as some other people, but it was really a unique experience, and I definitely think anybody should play that game if you're interested in it at all. Beyond Two Souls, again, kind of a similar thing. Very unique. Didn't quite know what to expect from it, and it wasn't quite what I was expecting, but it was very intriguing. Really kind of an interesting highlight, I think, of 2013. Tomb Raider. I really enjoyed my time with that. The game got a little shooty towards the end, and I found that just not to be the most fun aspect of the game. The rest of it, though, was really good, and it's completely worth playing to the end. Really enjoyed that as well. And I guess I picked out of my collection just a handful of titles that I would say are really the big highlights of 2013 for me in terms of releases and game playing. So maybe we'll start with the game playing portions. Zero Escape, Virtue's Last Reward. This came out late in 2012, and I got it for Christmas, so I know I was playing it around this time last year, and mostly I played it in January, and I really enjoyed this game. It's still, from the beginning of the year, stands up as one of the best titles that I played in 2013. Additionally, one that didn't come out this year, but I'm 90% sure that I played it this year, is Yakuza 4. This was one I really had no interest in the Yakuza series. I didn't realize that this was such an interesting game. It's really cool, and it really is Shenmue-esque, and it was great. It was a whole lot of fun. So I definitely just holding it and talking about it, it makes me want to go back and play some more of it. There's some stuff I haven't done in that game yet, so really liked Yakuza 4. But I would say beyond that, 2013 releases, of course, Hyperdimension Neptunia Victory. This was a standout release in 2013 for me. I've gotten 2 of the endings on this. I still haven't gotten the true ending, so nobody spoil it for me. But definitely had a whole bunch of fun with this. And it's funny. I think I almost think just because there have been 3 games in the series that, maybe some people who wouldn't have given this series a second glance are kind of looking at it now and going, oh, well, maybe this isn't half bad if they've, released so many. So, I think some people have kind of started this series with Victory, which isn't a bad place to start. I think I liked the previous entry just a little bit more, but I'm really looking forward to the Vita remakes that they're doing, strangely enough, because I didn't play 1 a lot. Really want to play that. I'd really actually even be interested in playing the remake of 2. The music game they have coming up, the game they have featuring, Blackheart Noir, all of that stuff. They're doing a whole bunch of things with the Neptunia universe, and I'm really excited for that in the future in 2014. And last, we have Hatsune Miku, Project Diva F. All of these games, I would say, those 4 kind of, they're just sort of like vying with each other for kind of a top place. They're all really good games, but I think surprisingly to me, this is probably my top pick from 2013. If I had to just choose one game that I enjoyed and played more than any others, it would be this one. And I was not expecting that. I was really pretty burnt out on rhythm games. I figured I would just pick this up and play it, and maybe for a week or something like that, and just enjoy the music and then put it aside. But I just absolutely got into playing this game, and there's no excuses either. It's just kind of a grind, I think a lot of the stuff I was doing was just playing the same songs over and over and over again for just building up money in order to be able to get unlock all the different stuff that you can get. But the core gameplay is so enjoyable, and I think playing through it on easy and then on normal and then on hard, it's when I first started playing, even just on easy, the songs seemed really hard, and I'm just like, there's no way. But just playing the game practice, it naturally makes you want to practice, and then the more you play it, the better you get at it. So you're able to play the higher difficulties, and it was kind of a natural progression. So I had a ball with this. Definitely, this is my top pick for 2013, Hatsune Miku Project Diva F. So I guess that's kind of my year in review. Like I said, so many good games came out. I picked up Time and Eternity, which I haven't gotten to play a whole lot of. A lot of stuff that I want to play, a lot of good games coming out, and a lot of retro stuff that I want to mess around with. I've been playing my Sega Genesis back here. I've been playing it with a Game Genie, and I used to think that was cheating. I was like, oh, I'm not a cheater. I don't do stuff like that. But as an adult, I think my reflexes aren't as fast as they were when I was 15 years old. And, especially with so many other games vying for my time and stuff like that, if I can sit down and enjoy, really just have fun, kind of casually just playing through some of these old games with infinite lives or invulnerability or something like that, so that I can just kind of see what the game had to offer and actually get to the ending. There's more shades of gray, I think. I played through Burning Force, which is a Space Harrier style game, which is a lot of fun. I actually beat that. I beat Troubleshooter, again with Game Genie cheats on. And I've been playing some old Sonic games, Sonic 2, and I played some of Sonic 1, which I know for a fact I beat when I was a kid, and so nostalgic. Just playing through Sonic the Hedgehog, really fun. So anyway, that is 2013 for me. I'm excited for 2014 for the new consoles, and I'm excited for just playing more Japanese games, collecting more retro games, and all that good stuff. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a really good 2014 here coming up. If you guys have any New Year's resolutions or anything like that, or games that you're looking forward to coming up, but I'd love to hear about those, and just wish you guys a happy new year. Thank you for watching.